can't speak for everyone, but at least for myself, I could care less whether or not you want to have sex. For the most part, I just don't understand why. I don't understand why someone would feel sexual attraction or want sex. I know that most people feel that way, and I have no problem with that. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's kind of like my feelings on tomatoes. I know that some people like them and some people want to eat them. I just don't understand why. Tomatoes have no appeal to me and actually repulse me. But that doesn't mean I think I'm better than people who like tomatoes.
Asexual people, like, just because they don't experience attraction doesn't mean that they don't have any libido at all.
Exactly, yeah.
And so, like, you still might feel the need for that sometimes, but, like, I feel like for a lot of aces, it's just like, oh, this again?
There are some asexuals who are also what is known as aromantic. They don't feel romantic attraction. I should probably explain this a little bit better. Romantic attraction is the feeling that you want to date a person. Sexual attraction is the feeling that you would like to have sex with that person. I personally am what is known as panromantic. I feel romantic attraction to every gender. I mean, if a person is nice and cute, then they're nice and cute. It doesn't really matter to me what pronouns they prefer. I'll like them all the same. You're probably wondering, what about sexual relationships? Well, that's entirely up to the parties involved. Maybe the asexual will agree to have sex, and maybe they won't. Maybe they're dating another asexual, and maybe they're not. It's entirely up to them.
I don't need sex. I don't think about sex. I think about intimacy. And a lot of people take intimacy and they think sex, but intimacy and sex are completely different. You can have intimacy and sex coincide.
And the way we're taught to understand sexuality and intimacy is narrow, exclusionary, and outdated. There is no one way to be asexual.
Not all asexual people identify as aromantic. So, for example, myself, I identify as asexual and biromantic, which means I experience romantic attraction to 2 or more genders. In a film, like a rom-com or something like in Love Actually, you've got all of the cute little date stuff, the dancing at a party, the holding hands, there may be like a little peck on a cheek, stuff like that. That is like the romantic attraction. And then as soon as they go back to the person's flat and it starts to get like more intense, that's the sexual attraction. I like the first bit. I like the dates and the holding hands and just the romantic intimacy, but not the sexual stuff. That's how I've always described the distinction between the two.
Myth 10. Asexual and aromantic people don't like reading or talking about sex and romance. Hello, it's me, the creator of a YA romance graphic novel series. Yeah, this is completely a myth. Like, I love reading and watching romance movies and books. And the protagonist of Loveless Georgia, it's, you know, in the second chapter, she's like, I love romance, I love fanfiction, I love Disney. Just because someone is asexual or aromantic doesn't mean that they can't enjoy reading about it or watching it on TV.
Again, it's this spectrum, it's different experiences that people have. There will be some aromantic or asexual people who might not be interested in that kind of media.
There is no asexual look. Asexuality looks like me, and you, and your mom, and your dad, and your grandparent, and your kid, and your teacher, and your best friend, and your lover. It could look like anyone because we could be anyone.
It's normal, and it's okay, and it doesn't make you a bad spouse, it doesn't make you a bad partner, it doesn't make you a bad person, it just makes you you.
You can find a happily ever after without romance, and that platonic relationships can be just as powerful and special as romantic relationships. Unfortunately, we live in a society where romance is kind of lauded as the best thing ever, and everyone should be aspiring to find the one and fall in love and have an amazing love story. But the reality is that, you know, some people just won't feel happy experiencing that. So we should all be able to find that kind of joy and happiness in platonic relationships as well.
I love my brother, I love my sister, and I love my parents. I love my pets, and I love my friends. I can love partners as well. I can feel all kinds of love, romantic, familial, and platonic. Just because I don't feel sexual attraction or want sex doesn't mean I can't love.